So I've been pretty excited and spending a lot of time thinking and organizing myself around how I want our workshop, or Mythoself Experience Weekend that's coming up October 1st through 3rd in New York, to actually go. And I want this to be more exciting and really take it to the next level this time. And what are some of the things you've been working on?
Well, some of the things that I've really been putting my attention on is looking at some of the qualities that people have. They're not only successful, but they're really satisfied with what they do, and really satisfied in their life as well. So I've been thinking about some of these qualities, and I think what we're going to do is really bring those qualities to the fore in the program.
You know, I've had a couple of people who've read the brochures ask me about money and opportunity and motivation. And the things that we began with were, for me, it's when you're organized in a way where you're really most prepared to be highly functional and highly connected to yourself and the world that you're in. Really it starts with something else. And that something else is this concept of focus. I really think that most people, when you talk about qualities of people who are successful, they're highly focused on what they're doing. And that focus really is more about what they're not doing than about what they are doing. And I've noticed for myself is that when I get really focused on something, everything else that's going on around me kind of fades away. And I'm just really paying attention to one or two particular things to the exclusion of others. And I've actually started to begin to sort like that, is that if I'm going to be doing this, let me get a clear idea of all the other things that I'm not going to be doing, and making sure that I don't allow any of those things to interfere.
I agree. And a little story about a guy who lives up in Connecticut. His name's Will Shorts. He's the New York Times crossword
one of my
puzzle
idols,
editor.
actually.
Yeah. From a very young age, he just put his attention on crossword puzzles, and the world would tell him not to. And his friends would say, "Let's go out and play baseball, Will." And he said, "No, it's not my thing." And when he got to college, they said, "What are you going to study?" And he said, "I'm going to study enigmatology." And they said, "Well, what's enigmatology?" And Will said, "It's the study of puzzles," because he was pretty good with words, and he became the first person to graduate in enigmatology, doing the study of puzzles. And really, from leaving college, but put his attention on just learning about crossword puzzles, doing crossword puzzles, connecting with others who are interested in crossword puzzles. In 1977, started up the National Crossword Puzzle Competition, and then a few years ago was made the New York Times Crossword Puzzle Editor. And I saw an interview with him the other day, and he just talks about how his life is perfect because he gets to do the thing that he loves doing every single day. And to me, it's no accident. It's not an accident. There are 1,000 other things he could have done, but he really had the focus to be able to say, "This is what I want to bring to the world."
I was at a book signing for Chris Guillebeau. He wrote a book recently called
Chris.
The Art of Nonconformity, Make Your Own Rules. And he told a story about a woman who lost her job. And she's a highly qualified woman in an industry that just was one of those industries that went bad in 2008. And she was faced with having to go into the job pool, and she just didn't want to do it the way the others did it. And what she did is she set her mind not on "I'm going to get a job and I'm going to do what it takes to get a job." She said, "I'm going to hire a new boss." And she put that out. I'm not exactly sure how she worked it all out, but she literally had criteria for how the boss that she worked for would be. And she ended up, through the series that she went through, of actually getting 12 job offers and taking one of them. And the boss who she hired actually said that when he first got her offer, her inquiry, he had no intention of hiring someone. So this is a way of really focusing on what you want and not just running with the herd, but saying, if I'm going to be doing this and this is the outcome I want, is to get a job, so are thousands of other people, what's going to set me apart from the herd? How am I going to stand out from the herd and truly be myself? So much so that it's a no-brainer for someone to recognize who I am and what I stand for, and really be attracted to what it is that I have to offer.
I find that people who are really focused, such as the ones we mentioned here, are really attractive people to be around, and they're really, really compelling. And really, that's the essence of what we teach and we put together on these weekends. How are you when you're focused, so that when you show up in the world, you're a really attractive and compelling person, and doors start to open for you.
But I'd like to make that distinction, Dennis, is that we don't really teach you how to focus so that you are a compelling person. We teach you how to focus so that you're yourself first. And when you're yourself and you allow yourself to actually come out and be seen, this is really the essence of what charisma is. And it's unmistakable to other human beings. When you're most congruent and most resonant of who you are, is that kind of focus that is, I'm 100% me, and I'm unashamed and unabashed to present myself in that way, and that charismatic aspect of yourself just comes out. And this is really what we're going for. We want everyone to leave with a way to sustain that.